So my wife, Jen, takes our van to the store the other day, and she backs it out of the driveway with no problems. She gets to the bottom, and she goes to shift into drive, and that's the exact time when the van decides, you know what? I'm done. The gear shift refuses to move. Nothing. Which means our van is now officially, well, it's become a one-trick pony because it only goes in reverse. Which is not exactly helpful when you're trying to go anywhere forward. Apparently it's a broken cable or something, but all I know is it's the most expensive metaphor I've ever owned. Hey, this is 1 minute later. I'm Craig, and honestly, yeah, lately it feels like life has been one big obstacle course. Every time I think I'm moving forward, another wall pops up. Now, repairing this van would cost more than the actual van is worth, which honestly is kind of the story of my life. So we're in the market for a new van. And by new, I do mean new to us because, let's be real, I'm not rolling up in anything that has fresh dealership smells. So we find one. Awesome. I fill out the loan application, and in my head, I can already hear Dave Ramsey somewhere whispering, "Craig, you betrayed me." Anyway, we got it approved. Miracle! Except, that's where the real battle begins. Because apparently, in order to buy a used van in 2025, your paperwork has to travel through 4 states, 2 faxes, a man in a red tie who takes long lunches, and a couple of bank employees who are mysteriously out sick all at the same time. So, every step forward, there's a new wall. And there's more waiting, more delays. Meanwhile, we're down to 1 vehicle, which means my truck has now become the family Uber. And listen, getting 3 kids to 3 different schools before 8 a.m., that's not parenting, that's a professional sport. I mean, it's a relay race with seatbelts. My 13-year-old son Gavin is in the back muttering sarcastic commentary like he's some kind of sports announcer. 9-year-old Sadie's holding a press conference about justice issues she notices at recess, and 8-year-old Piper, well, she's singing, full concert, back seat. Anyway, by the time I get done with drop-offs, I feel like I've already worked a full day, and then we get to do it all over again for pickup. And, of course, the van is just the headline. There's been a whole avalanche of little things that have come up. We get this freak rainstorm, and suddenly our basement is a swimming pool. My computer at work, it still turns on, but it's getting quite cranky with me, kind of like it's threatening an early retirement. The kids all have practices and rehearsals scheduled at the same time, but in totally different places. And then, just to top it off, our debit card gets hacked. Which means we're standing at the grocery store checkout line, praying new cards show up before the ice cream melts. And it's not like any one of these things is a tragedy, right? I mean, these are first world problems. But when they start stacking up, it really does weigh you down, doesn't it? It feels like you climb one wall and then there's another one waiting right behind it. And I'll be honest, after a while, I start asking God, do you just not want us to have this van? Is that what this is all about? And of course, I know that's not how it works, but in my head, I imagine God saying, Craig, you don't need a van. What you need is a donkey, maybe a camel. Very fuel efficient, very biblical. But then, of course, I do remember walls aren't anything new. In fact, the Bible is full of them. Moses finally stands up to Pharaoh. Pharaoh says no, makes life harder. Then you got Joseph, his brothers sell him off. He gets a break in Egypt. Then another wall comes up. He goes straight to prison. Paul tries to spread the gospel. And half the time he's either chained to a guard or shipwrecked somewhere. I mean, that man has worse travel luck than the Griswolds. And the thing is, God was in those walls. He wasn't causing them. He wasn't laughing at his people for hitting them, but working within them, shaping people in the middle of the delay. So, yeah, laughing helps, but sometimes you got to do more than laugh, right? Here's a few things I'm learning about actually getting over these walls. And the first is, don't climb it alone. Half the time, I want to muscle through everything on my own. But every time, I finally admit, hey, I need help. The wall doesn't feel as tall. God wired us for community for a reason. Also, celebrate the tiny wins. Some days, surviving the morning drop-off line is the victory, or even finding dry socks after your basement floods. Those little wins do matter, and they remind you that the wall doesn't get the last word. Remember, the story's not done. Joseph hit wall after wall, and it looked like the end, but God wasn't finished. Same thing for Paul, same for us. Just because you're staring at a wall doesn't mean you're stuck there forever. And here's the other thing. Walls are not permanent. They feel massive in the moment, but they eventually do give way. So maybe that is the encouragement today. When the walls pile up, don't assume you're failing. Don't assume God's gone. Just keep climbing. Keep asking for help. Keep celebrating the tiny wins. Because one way or another, you're not stuck forever. Hey, thanks for listening to 1 Minute Later. I'd love to hear from you. So shoot me an email at Craig, C-R-A-I-G, at KJIL.com. And tell me what walls you've been climbing lately. Hey, maybe we can share a laugh and climb at them together.